Yeah.
Today we are going to be unboxing a pallet from Quick Lot. Could this be the worst pallet that Pallet Jackin has ever gotten? I've kind of teased this on the last video talking about the shoes, so we're going to show you not every one of the shoes. We got this lot from Quick Lot. We work full time. I have a full-time job. So I would say me and April give nuggets of information based on our experiences to help people when they want to start and grow their business. But don't let our way or anybody else's way be the end-all be-all. You're going to have to struggle in this business and every other business to find success. Success not from what me or anybody else tells you, but success based on your experiences or your failures. Failure drives growth. It forces you to be uncomfortable, but it enables you to find new and innovative ways to be successful. This is our story. Ah, yes, failures. Nobody really likes to talk about failures, but I thought it was important that me and April made this video today about our failures that we've had here at Pallet Jackin. We've done a video before kind of talking about our worst pallets that we've ever gotten, but we really hadn't talked a lot about our specific failures and some of the things that we've done to kind of learn from those failures. So like you heard me say at the beginning, you know, failure is just one of those things that has to happen. It's almost inevitable, especially if you want growth. If you want to get to a place of success, you do have to fail. So the first one I want to talk about is our failure with choosing pallets and, you know, kind of the go with what you know principle. So whenever we first started, if you've been following us since the beginning, you probably saw some of the pallets that we got in the beginning, and a lot of it was us trying to figure things out. So it wasn't necessarily like we knew exactly what we were doing, or we had like a guide, a tell-all guide telling us exactly the steps to take. We was pretty much making it up. So we was just choosing pallets based on what we thought would sell, but we didn't really think about how we were going to sell those items. So specifically talking about like the size of items. So we didn't used to sell on Facebook Marketplace, meaning that we didn't have a local market to sell items in. We was strictly doing stuff on eBay, and with eBay, obviously, you know, if you start selling large items, it's going to eat into your profit pretty quickly. And we didn't know how to do shipping. So shipping is going to be one of our failures we'll talk about here in just a little bit. But in the beginning, we just chose pallets based on the items, and we didn't really look at the size of the items, and we didn't really do too much research in the items themselves. So our very first pallet that we got was a Walmart pallet, and it had these big huge long fans on them. You know, it was like 45 inches or something crazy like that. And we was paying so much money for shipping for those items, but we didn't do the research to see how much the shipping would be on those items before we picked that pallet up. So I think, you know, one of the biggest takeaways from that failure is knowing what you want to sell, doing the research beforehand, you know, understand where you're going to be able to sell those items before you even get started. So don't just go and buy with your emotions and pick up something just because you think, oh, this is going to be great, this is going to be good. And then you get it and you're like, how am I going to sell all this stuff? You know, you really have to look at how you're going to sell those items and what marketplace you're going to sell them on. You have to look at the fees. You're going to have to look at how much the shipping is going to be. If you are going to sell them locally, have you been selling locally? Do you even have a Facebook page where you can access Facebook Marketplace to sell on? You know, all these questions you really need to think about before you start. But I will say, you know, don't let that deter you from starting, because, you know, you got to start everywhere. You know, we had to start somewhere. We made these mistakes. Hopefully we give you some tips to kind of help you with making decisions if you are starting a business or if you are struggling with your business right now. So let's get to the second failure. All right, so our next failure is kind of one of the something that probably everybody doesn't have to deal with because everybody doesn't sell on eBay. This is an eBay specific failure. So it's going to be losing our top rated seller status. So I made a video quite a while ago about the benefits for top rated seller status and why we decided to really work towards being a top rated seller on eBay. So, you know, with top rated seller status, there's a bunch of, you know, you do get some perks with it. It's not the same perks like you used to get back when I had an eBay store a long time ago, but there are some perks that you can have or that you have with top rated seller status. But we have a problem with shipping stuff. So whenever we make our listings, we used to do everything on a 1-day handling time. So if somebody purchased something on Monday, you know, we would have to ship it out the next day. And for us, we both have jobs, and we kind of work opposite shifts. So April works the days that I'm off, and I work, and I'm off on the days that April works. So we have to split the days up, and some days April may not be able to go to the store during the week, so a one-day handling time doesn't always work. So we changed that. Since then, we have changed that to a 2-day handling time, but still sometimes, you know, things happen. Either we can't find it because of an organization, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. You'll see a theme here, how it all kind of compiles together, and you know, one failure kind of cascades to other kind of failures. But either we can't find it because we're not organized, or we've either chose a listing. Like when we go through and list something, sometimes I list so fast, I'll, you know, just kind of sell one like this. And when you do that, it takes all the fundamentals and all the stuff from the listing, and sometimes they still have 1-day handling time on there, and I don't know it. I don't pay it no attention. So if it has 1-day handling time and I think it has 2-day handling time, in my mind I think, oh, I still got 2 days to get that, especially if it's over a weekend. But if it's not, I have to get it shipped out the next day, and sometimes it just don't happen, you know. So that's just kind of our bad, and we're really working towards getting back to a top rated seller status. Most of it is just waiting for either the items to fall off based on the time, or, you know, working at the numbers to where we are back a top rated seller status. All right, y'all, time to clock out of work. So of course, me having a full-time job and April having the job, and plus April being a realtor, is really, really hard for us because we try to be the best that we can be. We try to, you know, make sure we ship out everything on time. So that's actually what I'm doing. I just clocked out of my full-time job, and I'm going to go over here to the store and I'm going to get some stuff shipped out. That's how you get better. So we've been here many times. You've seen us do this a bunch of times, but one of our biggest failures is our organization system. So how we organize things in the store. Y'all have seen a bunch of iterations of us organizing the store, but we still haven't tweaked it to exactly what we need. But the reason I call this a failure is because we have lost so much inventory, and we have paid out so much money for inventory that we have actually lost because we sold it after we listed it, but we didn't have it in a place that we knew where it was at, and it was lost. Now, when that does happen, I always tell y'all, don't freak out. Just drop ship it, or, you know, contact them and tell them you can't find it, or you lost it, or whatever, and at least communicate with the customer and tell them that you can't find it. So we actually just recently had an issue with this. I could not find, there was something that somebody sold up here. I know for a fact it was right here for the longest. It was right here, but then we've changed this quite a bit since then. So we've had a bunch of times where we've lost inventory. We didn't know where the inventory was at, and it has cost us money. So we try to organize things a lot better now. We do have a little bit better organization system. We've made 2 videos in the last couple of weeks about our organization. So if you want to check those out, I'll put those in the links if y'all want to check the organization of our store out. But yeah, we've failed so many times at this organization. The biggest thing is finding something that works for you. You don't necessarily have to do our organization system or anybody else's organization system, but you definitely need to find an organization system that works for you in your business.
So I think one of the failures that we've encountered over our whole reselling, and I think I always say this, is shipping. It was one of the biggest mistakes I think we dealt with it in the beginning. I remember we had these fans that was in one of our first pallets that we bought. The fans, they was I don't know, they was big. Mm-hmm. We was selling them for $40, and oh my goodness, shipping was $70. And as a new reseller, we didn't know, we wasn't canceling orders. We would just pay the shipping. We was losing money on shipping. So one of the things we didn't do, we heavily relied on the post office, on USPS. We thought that's the only place that we could ship. That was the only place to go. So we didn't utilize FedEx or UPS like we should have. We also didn't utilize the regional rate boxes. It's a regional rate A and a regional rate B box. They have the short ones and the long ones in both, in both versions of. And sometimes those are so much cheaper than like if you could fit in there.
Yeah, if it fits ships.
Yeah, I would like literally slap it in there now. Those are so much cheaper than just using the regular like postage. I don't know what is it? The priority, is that what it is?
Yeah, like flat rate.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper than that. What else do you have to add to that?
So I think the biggest thing is doing calculated shipping. That's another one. So sometimes when you make a listing, the default is calculated shipping,
right? And
which is good because they're going to pay for all your shipping. So you think like it's great, they can pay for shipping. What you don't realize is that
they show the biggest amount that, because they don't get the discounts that you get as an eBay user. So they just show like it can be $7 to $98, and that's what
that's what the people will see. Yeah. And that deters a lot of people from buying from you. So you may have calculated shippings on and not realize that they're being showed this exorbitant amount of money, and that's why they're not buying your items. So that's one of the things that we did at the beginning, was just really under thought or under planned for the shipping and stuff like that.
So we did one or two things, which was, we was like, okay, we just gonna give everybody free shipping, and then we would give free shipping, and then the shipping would be $70. Okay, and we couldn't afford $70. Then we was like, you know what? Forget this. Everybody's paying calculated shipping. So we was doing everybody calculated shipping. Yep. Well, then we wasn't getting any sales because, like I said, you will have some items that will be like, well, you can do calculated shipping and it's $7 to $98, and then you get this person, they send you an email and they're like, so why is the shipping on this going to be $98? You're like, well, I don't know, where are you from? And then it turns out that it's not going to be $98. It's going to be like, I don't know, 14. But they don't know that. They're just like, I'm just going to go to somebody that it's either free or it's just a flat shipping. Right. So like now that's one of the things that we do. We just, we look at the cost of shipping, what we think the item will cost to ship, and then we determine whether we're going to do shipping. So if I'm going to charge somebody shipping, I don't ever do calculated shipping. I always do just the flat cost, whatever I think it's going to cost. And I look at it. So we're in Tennessee and the furthest place is California. So we always say, okay, well, how much is it going to cost to go to California? So if it's going to cost $20 to go to California, then that's what we'll charge for shipping. And sometimes I don't charge all of shipping. Most times I don't charge all of shipping. They just have to pay half of shipping. Yeah,
or just a certain amount. And I think once you start doing it, once you start shipping stuff, you'll start getting, because we get a shipping questions quite a bit, asking about, shipping. But the biggest thing is once you start shipping, you start seeing like key locations. So I know about how much it costs to ship to Florida and Texas, Florida, New York. Those are the three like cheapest kind of places for us to ship to. Of course, all the states that's within those bounds are around about the same, but you start getting over to Arizona, California, Washington, it's going to be a lot more.
It's usually double.
Yeah,
it's like usually double whatever we.
Yeah, what we estimate. Yeah. What it is, but we know about how much it's going to be because we've shipped so many items, large and small, to those places, so we can kind of estimate. And we can kind of price that way. So I think it's going to be all about trial and error.
And that takes us to our last failure. And our last failure is this brick and mortar store. So I know you're probably going to say, what do you mean, TJ? What are you talking about? Your store is great. You got a store, you can put stuff in it. People can come over and buy stuff. That sounds great on paper, but we have failed so many times with this store. We don't know exactly how we want to sell stuff out of the store. We don't have it organized in a way that is conducive to having live sales here over at the store. We did before, and then we had to change it, and now it's more like a warehouse. So it's not even really a storefront for people to come in and purchase things, even though they can come over here and pick stuff up, and we can sell smaller items. We can have parking lot sales and stuff like that. However, just somebody just coming over here off the street, during normal business hours and picking things up is almost not an option at this point, the way we have everything kind of organized. So I think looking at the store and looking at how we managed to kind of evolve the store over time, if we had gotten a warehouse space, it would have been a lot more, it would have aligned more with our vision for Pallet Jackin and how we want to do business. Now, with that being said, most of our sales in general are online, and we have sold quite a bit. You know, we've sold tens of thousands of dollars worth of inventory online. And so I do think that our online stores are profitable. However, we could be utilizing this space behind us for more than a storage space. We could be utilizing it to actually make additional sales, especially on items where we could sell them online, and they will sell online, but we can sell them for just a little bit more and not have the fees and not have the shipping and stuff like that. We could do that out of this store. However, we don't take the time to kind of organize it in that way. Now, I do think there is a limitation with the space here at this store. So we can't have the best of both worlds. We can't have a space to store all of our items in an organized way, as well as have it available for people to purchase. But there are other people that do it. We just ain't figured out the algorithm and the formula for that. So I do think that this store is probably our number one biggest failure, you know, just in both me and April's opinion. Me and April sat down, we really thought about this list and really thought about the top 5 things that we do or that we've done in the past and failed, and this store is hands down the biggest kind of failure that we've had. Now, I will say that just because I'm saying it's a failure, that doesn't mean that's the end all be all, right? So we always have time to tweak things and make things better and make this space work a lot better for us. Now, the original plan for this store was to have not only this building, but also the 2 buildings that's next to us. But somebody took those 2 buildings because we took a lot longer to kind of get into the place where we can afford those 2 extra buildings over there. So now, you know, somebody's over there, and so we can't expand like we thought we were going to. But we do like this location. It's very convenient for me and April to operate over here. It's in a pretty decent location. It's not like the best location for people to come and purchase things from, because it's not necessarily on like a main road. You kind of have to go out your way to kind of get here, even though it's very close to a very busy area. It's just not in like a prime location for this type of store. So I think that we will be making some tweaks, and we will be making some different edits to how we do business over here, and we will kind of turn this around to where we are making money out of this store, and it's not just a storage building that costs us $550 a month.
All right, so that's going to be it for today, guys. If you like these types of videos, please like, share, and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Also hit that bell icon so you can get notifications whenever we release new videos, and we will see you guys on the next one. Peace.